We'll call to order the City of Douglasville City Council Legislative Work Session for tonight, which is April the 12th. First, we'll have our invocation that will be done by Bishop Joe Phillips from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and then the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by the Mayor Pro Tem Richard Siegel. Please stand for the invocation.
Let us pray. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, as we bow our heads this day, we're thankful for the many blessings Thou hast given us as we celebrate and commemorate this very special month of fair housing and the Fair Housing Act, and a reminder of where we are, where we were, and where we're headed. We're thankful, Heavenly Father, for the opportunity to serve and to be servant leaders in a wonderful community of Douglasville. We pray that we may be reminded constantly of the fact that we are literally children of Heavenly Father, and that civility is one of the primary goals and primary things in our lives that we should strive for. Civility is the root of the word civilization, and it carries with it the essence of courtesy, politeness, and consideration of others. How very much of it we have lost in the contemporary society, and all the education accomplishments in the world will not count for much unless they are accompanied by marks of gentility, of respect for others, and of going the extra mile. It's my hope and prayer at this city council that the mayor, the council, the citizens, and those in attendance may be mindful of the duties and responsibilities we hold as servants unto Thee, as children of a Heavenly Father that loves us and recognizes us, and that we may be civil and kind and polite. In this I ask humbly in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem Siegel and Pastor Joe Phillips. Bishop, we appreciate the prayer and the call. We attended last night the 50th anniversary for the Housing Act, and it was very well attended in the city in O'Neill Plaza, and the speaker was Commissioner Henry Mitchell. It's very nice. So thank you for mentioning that. We'll go on with announcements and presentations. I'd like to welcome you to the City of Douglasville's legislative work session. This is a work session where agenda items are presented for discussion and no official action will be taken tonight. Official action will be taken on these items discussed tonight on Monday at 6 p.m., which will be April the 16th. If the business you are here for is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the agenda item comments from Citizens and Delegates section for you to discuss your business. There are just a few protocol issues I'd like to make you aware of before we start the meeting. I ask, and that's one of them, I ask that you would keep your comments and presentations on a professional level, dealing with the facts that are important for this governing body to make our decisions. We will not accept comments that are considered by the chair to be a personal attack on any individual or group of individuals. You'll receive a warning from the chair if you deviate from this requirement. A second deviation will result in a request for you to leave the chambers and the premises for the evening. One person speaking at a time, please. Please do not applaud or react to speakers. Speak from the audience, cheer, carry on conversations with others in the audience, or be disruptive in any other manner in this meeting, please. I'll remind you that we only accept, or we're required to accept public comments during required public hearings. We are not required to accept public comment on other items before this council. If you have a cell phone or electronic device, I ask that you would either power those items off or put them in silent mode. Agenda items will be handled as follows. The committee chairperson will read the agenda item. Then the person representing that agenda item or applicant will make his or her presentation first, and that will be the only opportunity for them to present the information. Then myself and council members will possibly ask questions of the applicant to seek additional information. After that, the chair will ask for comments or statements from the audience. There's a maximum time of 30 minutes for those to speak in favor or in opposition to the agenda item. The applicant's presentation is included in this time allotted. Then each speaker will have 5 minutes to make their comments, and we ask that you would there's a speaker sign-in card that you should have filled out to give to our city clerk, Ms. Vicki Acker, to my right. Each person has one opportunity to comment on the agenda item. This meeting is not a question and answer format. It's not debate format. We're just here to gather information. When you come to the podium, please give us your name and address for the record. And that is it. Hopefully, there won't be any questions on procedures and how the meeting will be handled this evening. So now we'll go on to the first committee, and it's Public Safety. The Vice Chair for Public Safety is Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have 3 items tonight. Item A is a request for alcohol beverage license for the sale and on-premise consumption of wine and malt beverages at the following establishment: Licensee Caribbean Kitchen Bar and Grill, LLC, DBA Caribbean Kitchen Bar and Grill. Location, 6002 Fairburn Road. Proposed agent outlet manager, Junior Sangster. The required fees have been paid into the finance department. Is Mr. Sangster or somebody representing Caribbean, if you would come forward to the podium and go ahead and give us your name and your address for the record.
My name is Junior Sangster, and the location is 6002 Fairburn Road.
Sir. The only question I have is, could you just briefly tell us about any training of employees as far as alcohol sales and consumption that you put your employees through?
Well, when I employ someone, I'm going to employ someone that already have the experience that worked into a place of alcohol before, so that way they will have the idea about the alcohol system.
So y'all don't have any kind of formal training that you put your employees through?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay, all
Yeah.
right. So, okay. Does anybody on the council have any questions? Yes, ma'am, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Chair. So, Mr. Sangster, do you periodically check, or when they serve someone, does the server check all those persons that are requesting alcohol to see their license? Do they check for their ID?
Yes, they do.
Okay, and you are at this, you're currently at this location, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. From the police department, have we had any infractions that you know of?
No, ma'am, not that I'm aware of.
Thank you so much, Deputy Chief. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Mr. Sangster, just come back on Monday and we'll vote.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Until
you.
Monday.
On Monday, yes, sir. Okay, item B, request for change in outlet manager for the alcohol beverages license for the retail package sales of wine and malt beverages at the following establishment: Licensee Walmart Stores, East LP, DBA Walmart, number 1488. Location 7001 Concourse Parkway. Current agent outlet manager Ricky Gable. Proposed agent outlet manager Stephanie Stone. And the required fees have been paid into the finance department. Are you Ms. Stone?
I am.
Go ahead and give us your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Stephanie Stone. I live at 332 Villa Rosa Place, Temple, Georgia, 30179. I am a Walmart co-manager at that store, and do you want me to tell you about the training that we do?
Go ahead, that'd be fine.
We have to do, all the associates have to do Global Learning Management System, which are CBLs. They're basically videos that they have to watch, and they have to take a test, and they have to answer questions. And sorry, I don't like public speaking. And they have to do that every quarter. And you also have to do refreshers throughout that. And it's on a computer, and so we have documentation, and we do observe our associates and have certain rules and age limits and restrictions for everything that we do.
Thank you. Any questions from Mayor and Council? All right, well, thank you, and you come back on Monday and we'll vote on it. Thank you very much. Item C, request for a change in agent outlet manager and transfer of the alcoholic beverages license for the retail package sale of wine and malt beverages at the following establishment: current licensee Super Fix LLC, DBA Douglasville Food Mart. Proposed licensee, Diamond Friends LLC, DBA Diamond Food Mart. And the location is 6590 Broad Street. Current agent outlet manager, Amirli Dabani. Proposed agent outlet manager, Sadiq Barasaya. The required fees have been paid into the finance department. I apologize if I mispronounced your name. Go ahead and give us your name and address for the record.
6590 Broad Street, Douglasville, 30134.
Go ahead.
I'm just his interpreter. He knows English, but still, I'm his brother, so he just told me to come with him.
Well, the last two folks have had to kind of briefly tell us your policy and how you train your employees as far as sale.
So, it's a transfer of the business, so the previous manager, he's gonna teach us how to deal with the, underage people, and so take ID, and you shouldn't give anyone to those who are underage.
Thank you. Mayor and Council, anybody have any questions?
I do, Mr. Chairman. So then, gentlemen, do you actually ID everyone that comes into the store that wants to purchase alcohol?
Yes.
You do? Okay. Do you have any sort of system at present, any sort of computer system or any sort of prompt in your cash register and in your checkout?
Yeah, it's a nucleus register, so whenever anyone comes, like they will ask prompt, like it's underage. There is for the tobacco and also for the beer. So there's 18 and 21. The register directly prompt that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions? Well, thank you, sirs, and you all come back on Monday and we'll vote. Thank you very much. Mayor, that's all the items I had under public safety tonight.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Chairman. We'll move on to item 6, Community and Economic Development Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Richard Siegel.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We do have several items. First is a resolution declaring that May 2018 to be the National Historic Preservation Month for the city of Douglasville.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Thank you again for acknowledging.
Name and address. For
Oh,
the
I'm
record,
sorry, I
please.
apologize. Aaron Ruffin, the Interim Community Development Director, 3220 Smith Ridge Trace, Peachtree Corners, Georgia. Again, I just want to thank Mayor and Council for acknowledging the month of May as the National Historic Preservation Month for the city of Douglasville. We do have an event coming up on May 9th at 11:30. In part with the county that we do annually, and that will start at 11:30 at Sweetwater Creek Park. And so,
And what will that event have?
that event, so of course we'll be serving lunch, as well as the county and the city will be acknowledging historic sites within the county and the city, as well as acknowledging people that have done a tremendous job in maintaining their property, as well as volunteering their time to support the efforts of historic preservation. And so,
Any questions from Mayor and Council? No? If not, can we put this on the consent agenda for Monday? Okay. Next item is to adopt a resolution declaring May 2018 as Older Americans Month.
Aaron Ruffin again, Interim Community Development Director, 3220 Smith Ridge Trace, Peachtree Corners, Georgia. Again, with this resolution, we just want to thank Mayor and Council for their commitment to recognizing our senior population within the city of Douglasville, and declaring May of 2018 as the month that we want to recognize older Americans within the city of Douglasville.
And I see the theme in the resolution is listed as engage at every age.
That's nice.
Yes.
Any comments or questions from Mayor and Council?
We get any special discounts on if we're an older American that day?
Ross on Wednesdays or Tuesdays.
Not as a result of the resolution, but there are plenty of opportunities out there for such savings.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I did have a question about the senior picnic. The date, do you have that date, Mr.
I do not have that date with me. I'll check with Michelle Wright. She's over that, and I'll make sure that that information is shared with you.
Yes, sir. Typically, it's in the month of May and it's celebrated. It used to be at Jesse Davis Park, but they've moved it to various places, a senior citizen center or churches, and the city gives a key to the eldest senior, male and female. So just wanted to know those dates. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Any objection to placing this on the consent agenda for Monday night? All right. Then the third item I have is to adopt a resolution declaring May 6th through 12th, 2018 as National Travel and Tourism Week in the city of Douglasville.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Chelsea Jackson, Operations Manager, 6695 Church Street, Douglasville, Georgia. The resolution you have before you is proclaiming that May 6th through the 12th, 2018 is National Travel and Tourism Week. The theme for this year is Travel Then and Now. I'll also like to give you a few details on events that we have during that week. Starting on Monday, there will be a soft lunch via social media. It'll be a crossword puzzle campaign. And then you can get information regarding that challenge via social media on Visit Douglasville page, or also get copies from the Welcome Center, which is currently at the Douglas County Chamber. On that Tuesday, you'll have a travel rally. It'll be at the Douglasville Conference Center in Meeting Room 1, and that will be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. On that Wednesday, there also be recognizing 2 board members at the HBC luncheon. It'll be 2 CVB members be recognized. On Thursday, CVB will host a business for breakfast from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then on Friday, they will wrap up the week with announcing via Facebook the crossword puzzle campaign winner. And instructions will be on Facebook as well as the chamber.
Are elected officials eligible to join that contest?
Of course, everyone is.
Okay.
Are there any questions?
Comments or questions from Mayor and Council? No? And then if there's no objection, I'd like to also place this on the consent agenda for Monday.
Thank you. And Madam Mayor, I also have information regarding the senior picnic.
Oh, okay.
The Douglasville and Douglas County Senior Picnic will be on May 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Woody Fight Senior Center.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Right, and my final item is to hold a public hearing on a proposed amendment to the City of Douglasville Community Development Block Grant application to expand the target area.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Patrice Williams, the Economic Development Manager for the City of Douglasville. As you know, we were awarded a housing grant back in 2015. That housing grant expired in 2017, September 2017. We were able to rehab 2 houses on Thompson Street. The other houses we weren't able to fulfill due to unforeseen challenges, and so we have been in contact. We continue to stay in contact with DCA. We have a new consultant, Ms. Rhonda Gilbert. She came on a few months ago, and so she is going to bring you all up to speed as far as where we are and where we're going.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members.
Evening.
Rhonda Gilbert, Gilbert and Associates, 625 Piping, Rock Point in Lawrenceville, Georgia, 30043. And the purpose of our public hearing tonight is to propose a substantial amendment to the city's existing community development block grant. The city is proposing to revise the project budget as well as expand the target area from Thompson Street to Carton Street. 2 units were rehabbed as part of the project so far. Those are at Unit 9 and Unit number 6 that are in the original grant application. We have 1 unit that's a number 2 at 8106 Thompson Street, which is right now waiting on DCA approval to move to the rehab construction phase. And then the housing units, there were many housing units that were included as part of the original application that for various reasons are no longer moving forward with the project. So in working with DCA, we're asking to expand the target area to remove these properties that are listed. That would be unit number 1, unit number 6, unit number 3, 4, unit number 5, 10, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, as well as unit number 16. And then we're going to be asking DCA to remove the H14 AOT housing reconstruction activity. Those funds of 116,194, we're going to ask to move those to the housing rehabilitation activity, H14A-01. And then we are going to be requesting that we be able to assist homeowners that are on Carton Street. Back several weeks ago, we did have a general meeting inviting the homeowners that are on Carton Street to attend to learn about the program and to complete pre-applications if they were interested in housing assistance through this program. We did receive, I believe we have 5 pre-applications, and then over the next few weeks, those houses will be inspected based on some decisions made by the city staff that's working with the Community Development Block Grant Program. And then as those houses are inspected, then those are the ones that we'll propose to DCA to include in the grant. 100% of these funds will continue to benefit low to moderate income persons. The city will not be displacing any persons. And we just want to remind attendees that the City of Douglasville abides by the following laws as they pertain to HUD-assisted projects. Title VI of the Civil Rights of 1964, Section 109 of the HCD Act of 1974, Title I, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, the Fair Housing Act of 1974, Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, as amended, and Title II of the ADA Act, and the Architectural Barriers Act of 1968. And this project does fall under Section 3. We do intend to make any efforts to reach out to Section 3 businesses as well as low-income persons in the area that may be able to work on these construction activities. That brings us to public comments and questions.
Okay, before opening this public hearing for comments from the public, I want to give the opportunity to the mayor and council to ask any questions they may have. Anyone?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Thanks, Ms. Rhonda, for coming. Hopefully your travel was easy coming from Lawrenceville.
You know it was.
Just a question, are we pretty much on time in regards to DCA and the timeline that we're given?
We are still within our time frame, and as of now, we are actually waiting on DCA to respond to our request on the 8106 Thompson Street project. We communicate with DCA pretty much weekly, and they're aware that we're also having this public hearing for the substantial amendment this evening, and we'll follow up with DCA tomorrow as we move forward with some decisions that the city makes on the houses on Carton Street.
Okay. Ms. Rhonda, if you would be so kind, when you make reports to the to DCA, can you also make the weekly reports or bi-weekly reports to our staff? I think Aaron is the contact person, and then Patrice, and they'll copy me on it. That is the ward that I'm in.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you. No other questions?
Madam Mayor.
Pro Tem?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you, Ms. Gilbert, for coming in this evening. We appreciate that, and Ms. Williams. And my only comment would be, I know we had extenuating circumstances with some of the homeowners on Thompson Street, and a lot of them were out of our control and their control as well. So I just cautionary that we would take those lessons learned as we move forward in Carton Street. And does it seem viable with the 5 homeowners that came forward? And the grant, is it for 4 homes, or how many homes, or it's just an amount?
Right. It depends on the amount. The budget we have we can't increase the amount of the budget, so we have to work within that.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
we have a project inspector that will evaluate the houses and make a work write-up of the work that's proposed for that property, as well as an estimated cost for that construction.
I see.
So it's, we have 5 pre-applications, and they all qualify based on income
Great.
and being within that target area. So we don't know the condition of the properties until we get an inspector in there. So the number of homes that actually will be completed will just be, will determine on the budget.
Okay, so it's just contingent upon the shape that the homes are in and the viability for how many, we don't have a number because it's based on the amount for the grant.
Right, yes, ma'am.
And, okay, and it looks good, the 5 applicants. They pre-qualified.
Yes, ma'am.
Great news.
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
is.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Anyone else? All right, then I will open the public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak on this item will be allotted 5 minutes of time. You'll see the timer up on the screen. Those wishing to speak in favor of this, we will take a total of 30 minutes if need be, and then we'll allow those who wish to speak against this also a total of 30 minutes, 5 minutes per person. So anyone who currently would like to come up and speak in favor of this, please come forward now. And if you'll give us your name and address for the record.
My name is Denny Henry. I live at 8064 Carton Street, Douglasville, 30134. And yes, I am in favor of this program. I support this project because it helps the residents to fix issues in their home that they can't really afford. Some is because of the way the house was built or the land that it was built on. And if there is some grant or revenue to help them, then I definitely support that. I'd like to share a story with you of how my family came to live at 8064 Carton Street. My mom told me, this has been 50 or so years ago, she worked at a local restaurant here. I don't know how long you guys been here, with Bud Lee 78 Steakhouse. And she befriended a waitress there. Her name was Vera. They became friends. And they decided to purchase a home. They said, we're going to save our money and buy us a home. Well, when the time came, Miss Vera, she bought a lovely home, a 3-bedroom brick home, bath, all the comforts of a modern-day home, living room, dining room, kitchen, for $60,000. My mom said her $60,000 got her a 4-room shack. I think then they called it a shotgun house. Now, my dad, with his 4th grade education, over the years, he built on and added on. I remember when we got our first bathroom. It was an exciting day. So I'm saying this to say that the community that I live in is a strong community. It does look a little bad right now because, our parents are gone and they left it to us to keep it going. And there are some issues. And we've had great people there. The Willing Workers, I know you've heard of them. They have a park named after them. Those women came from that community. And I just think that any help to keep the preservation of that community going would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Hattie Kendrick, and I live at 7971 Carton Street. I grew up there. I think I may have been about 6 months old when we moved to the house. My father built the house. That house burned, and then another one was built. And as Denny say, she lives at the top. I live at the bottom. As she say, it's just a family, right? And again, it does look bad because we have 2 houses that the storm demolished, and that's still there, but we keep our area clean, and I just pray and hope that you all see fit to agree to this, because the houses do need attention. There's people who doesn't have the money to repair to refurbish or whatever. So I really and truly hope that this goes through. That's about it.
Thank you very much. Anyone else who would like to speak in favor of this item?
My name is Gloria Watts, and I'm in favor of this proposal to renovate the properties on Carden Street. My mother, she lives at 8142 Carden Street, and she's been living there for maybe 50 years, and right now she's 92 years old. And when she still keep up her property, and whatever you can do for that community would be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak in favor of this? Name and address.
My name is Tina Birchsong, and I live at 8021 Carton Street, and I am in favor of the grant project. I think it will help our community, keeping up the improvements. Some of us, we do keep it up, but it's still very costly, so any help would be greatly appreciated. And because those homes are old, and I'm not an original resident there, but my husband is. He took on his father's home, so when his father passed away, and it does require a lot of work. So I am in favor, and I do hope you guys approve it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You know, you guys do get a full 5 minutes, but I'm not going to argue with brevity. Anybody else who'd like to speak in favor of this? No? Then we will extend the opportunity to anybody who wants to speak against this. Hearing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing, and I'll let Mayor and Council have another opportunity to ask a question or make a comment if they like.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd just like to make a comment to the citizens, Henry, Kendricks, Watson, Birdsong, any other residents, that I understand your plight. My mother just passed a couple of weeks ago, and my brother is the third generation. My grandma was on that farm, so my brothers have inherited a lot. So I commend you for keeping the home in the family. It takes a lot to keep up a family home, and so we're excited to have the opportunity with this grant. And so I understand the shoes you're in. One has a home that we grew up in for 50 years, and the other one has the home on the farm with third generation. So it's going to be a lot to keep up those homes. So thank you for being willing to do that and keep the city, stay in the city. We appreciate your investment and your time. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Anyone else? Thank you all for coming in and speaking on this item. We will take this up on Monday. No other items under Community and Economic Development Committee tonight, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. We'll move on to Planning and Development Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No business tonight.
Are you serious? I have to change that. Just kidding. We'll move on to Parks and Recreation Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're
We have
welcome.
2 items tonight. Item A, adopt a resolution setting the dates, approval artists, and compensation amounts for the city's 2018 Wednesday Wind Down concert series. We were unable to discuss this during our 5 o'clock committee meetings, and we will, that'll be on schedule for 5 o'clock on Monday. We'll take it up at that time.
Yes, sir.
Item B, is there any questions about that? Item B, authorize the mayor to sign a service agreement with American Linen Supply Company to supply mats at the Owens Community Center. Is Mr. Landrum here? Come forward and just give us a brief rundown on this.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Travis Landrum, 8830 Gurley Road, Douglasville, Georgia, 30134. We're seeking approval for this agreement, which will provide a replacement service of mats at this facility. If you had a chance to look at the agreement, it is in addition to a service that we already have with this company at our West Palms Golf Course. So it's just an opportunity to get this service provided there so we can have fresh mats instead of the deteriorating ones that we have that would cost more if we replaced them and had to continue to replace them. So we're seeking approval of this agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Landrum. Any questions from Mayor and Council?
Yes, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
ma'am.
If Mr. Landrum, if you can explain what the mats are, they aren't sleeping mats, but mats for,
Well,
that
these
you
are the mats
rugs.
at the entry points of our facility. You have the scraper mats that, of course, help alleviate getting dirt off of your shoes as you track in, and then the mats. You have the scraper mats in the foyer area, and then regular mats on the inside as you come inside. So just to help keep dirt off the shoes and coming further into the facility, and of course, if it rains or anything,
Yes, sir.
preventing more water in the facility for slip and falls.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Are the mats replaced periodically, or are they taken out and cleaned and brought back?
This service will be on a weekly basis, so they'll come in, pick up the current mats that they would provide from the prior week, and then replace them with newly clean mats on a weekly basis.
Thank you. Anything else, Mayor and Council? If it'd be all right, I'd like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Landrum. That's all I have tonight under Parks and Rec, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on to Finance Committee, that's chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have several
Welcome.
items to discuss tonight. The first is authorize the mayor to sign an executive contract sales order with ADP Incorporated, amending the parties' major accounts agreement to add an additional time clock for use by hourly employees. Ms. Callen, can you help us with that?
Yes, this contract is a total of $1,584. This is for a time clock that will go into the West Pines Cart Barn. The employees are unable to clock in after hours, so it is a recommendation from the Parks and Recreation Director that a time clock go in that building. It is within the city manager's approval, but because the contract does not limit itself to 18 months, it requires council approval.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Finance Director, Ms. Callen, if you can give us your name and
Yes,
address for
ma'am.
the record.
Karen Callen, Finance Director.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. That's all it.
6695 Church Street, Douglasville, Georgia.
Thank you, Ms. Callen. Is there any questions or comments concerning this extension or change in a contract? If not, we could place it on the consent agenda, please. Go on to item B. Adopt an ordinance to amend the City of Douglasville's fiscal year 2017-2018 general fund budget. Ms. Callen?
Yes, as a result of the community development reorganization, we, towards 2 months of the fiscal year, the last 2 months of the fiscal year, we are amending the general fund budget for 2 positions that we currently have and 1 new position. The 2 positions that we currently have on the books are the Community Development Director, and actually this is a new position, the Community Relations Director. And then the another new position is the Staff Accountant. The net effect, the budgetary effect is 0. We are taking the funds from the remaining funds from the merit increases.
Okay, thank you. I know we discussed this at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Just wonder if there are any other comments or questions from council. And we did also discuss, Ms. Callen, the fact that these positions would then be looked at as far as the new budget cycle coming up, and we'll have those hearings in late May, that
Yes,
those
sir.
positions would then need to be included in their own budget line item, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If there are no questions, then I would ask that we place that on the consent agenda if possible. Okay, one other item, adopt an ordinance to amend the City of Douglasville's fiscal year 17-18 splashed fund budget. Ms. Callen?
Yes, this is for 3 vehicles in the Parks and Recreation Department. They had aged out sooner than projected. The cost to repair is greater than the value of the vehicle, so we are recommending moving the funds from a town green project to a Parks and Recreation vehicle line item. This was discussed earlier at the committee level.
Thank you, Ms. Callen. I know we did have a discussion on this. I know that the Parks and Rec Department had budgeted to purchase 1 additional item, and this was something that's come up suddenly, so we would be moving the funds. Tell us a little bit about where we'd be moving the funds from and why it does not have a negative effect on that line item, please.
Yes, this is from our Town Green project. The total budget for the Town Green project is over $3 million, and that is a long-term project. Right now, this $3 million budget is just a placeholder. We don't have final numbers on it. So at year 3, possibly we could have extra SPOS proceeds from increased sales tax over what we budgeted, but it is early to tell. It could have a zero effect by the end of our SPOS program.
We appreciate that information. Just want to make sure that our viewing audience knows what the Town Green project is.
Oh,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you very much.
Councilman Adams, the finance director was looking at me to explain the Town Green
Oh,
project.
okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ms. Callen.
No, just most of you all are familiar with the downtown master plan that was done. It was decided amongst mayor and council that we would pursue looking at the Town Green portion of that downtown master plan as one of the first projects that we would do. Funds for that project would come from SPLOS as well as the general fund. So you all, just at your most recent meeting, voted to have a contract signed over to purchase the jail property from the county. That has been delivered to the county, and I expect that they will take action on that at their next meeting.
And that is the Town Green project, or would be?
All of that is the Town Green project. As Ms. Callen has mentioned, it is a long-term project, so we have a lot of due diligence to do over the next year or so. So it will take us some time before we get final numbers.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Callen. Very exciting. Any other question or comment? If not, we will ask that this also go on the consent agenda for Monday night. And Madam Mayor, that's all that we have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Callen. You're welcome. We'll move on to item 10, which is Information Technology Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's no business at this time under Information and Technology.
Thank you so much, Miller T. We move on to Maintenance and Sanitation Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mike Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one item tonight, that is adopt an ordinance to adopt an amended Article 1 of the Community Development Ordinance to authorize a City Tree Advisory Board to manage trees on city-owned property and to limit the authority of the Keep Douglasville Beautiful Board to other environmental efforts. I believe we're going to hear from Ms. Chan Weeks.
Hi, Chan Weeks, Executive Director of Keep Douglasville Beautiful, 8578 Club Drive, Douglasville, Georgia, 30134. In this, we're asking the council to adopt an ordinance, as it says, to establish a tree board, and that is getting us one step closer to becoming a Tree City USA under the Arbor Day Foundation. Under the Tree City USA, there's 4 standards that you have to basically complete to be recognized as a Tree City USA, and the top being establishing a tree board. And then there's also having a tree care ordinance, which we already have established as the City of Douglasville, a community-wide forestry program that allocates an annual budget of about $2 per capita, and that is monies that we are actually already spending through our Maintenance and Sanitation Department and also our Parks and Rec and that covers any kind of tree care maintenance as far as it relates. And then the final and 4th standard is an Arbor Day observance, and that is something that we have been doing over the past several years already. So this final step would be allowing us to actually apply to become that Tree City USA. We would have 5 seats on the board, and one of them would be the Extension Office, who Kevin Livingston is in the position now over there as the Cooperative Extension Agent. But that position actually would remain whoever that person is in that position. So that would always be with the UGA Extension Office. And then the other 4 would be tree care professionals. The 4 additional ones that we have in mind that we will be recommending to you after this ordinance is approved are all certified arborists.
Yes, Mr. Siegel.
Looking at the proposed ordinance that's attached to our agenda item, and I'm looking at page 4 of that, where it's talking about membership and then terms. And membership does say 4 that are appointed by the mayor and council, and those would be the ones that you're recommending, plus the 5th one being the ex officio, being the cooperative extension agent, whoever is in that role. But then the next section, under terms, the last sentence says the elected or employed member shall be appointed annually, and under membership, it didn't say anything about any of them being an elected or employed member. Is that an error in the?
That's an error, thank you, and we'll
That'll
fix
come
that.
out. Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else? Madam Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Weeks, I was just going to ask about the Tree Advisory Committee Board, if it would be in conflict with the tree ordinance that we have. Are they going to enforce the tree ordinance, or are they going to have different stipulations? From my understanding, when we have redevelopment, we have to replace trees in their certain diameter, and we have all of those factors in place currently. So would this advisory board strengthen the ordinance, or are there other requirements, or how does that work?
They would not be the ones enforcing the ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
That would still be left to the current department that handles that. What this board would be doing would be advising for trees in right-of-way mainly, if there's issues, dying trees, things, recommending trees be removed, or any
Okay.
care and maintenance that may be needed. And just basically, promoting more awareness of what trees are, the value of trees in our community, and that kind of thing.
Okay, so it's more of a beautification.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other comments? Does this have any provisions about water oaks? I'm just wondering if Mr. Roberts has a death wish for the water oaks in town.
Well, that is probably something the tree board will look at. It's starting off, because there are several that
Damaged and dying trees.
damaged and
Yeah.
dying trees, definitely.
We appreciate your efforts on this. Any more questions or comments? If it pleases the council and the mayor, I'd ask that this be placed on the consent agenda for Monday. Thank you, Jan. That's all we have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on to Transportation Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember LaShawn Danley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's one item, authorize the mayor to sign a contract with Jackson Paving Company Incorporated for the city's 2018 SPLOST resurfacing project. Mr. Roberts?
Excuse me. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Greg Roberts, City of Douglasville Maintenance and Sanitation Department, 8578 Club Drive, or you can communicate with us for our viewing audience, sanitation at douglasvillega.gov. That's sanitation at douglasvillega.gov. This is the 58 streets that council had approved to put out to bid a few months ago. And we opened these bids last Tuesday. And we received 4 bids, and I think you see the packet there, or the information there in front of you. We received 4 bids, and these are all quantity bids, so it's based on quantity pricing for various components of that bid, everything from milling to asphalt overlay to the striping, and a number of aspects of the contract. Jackson Paving came in the lowest at $2,784,419.90, and the next bid was $3.3 million from Baldwin Paving, and so there is a pretty good little gap right there, but it's based on the quantity bidding, and I feel like I have a fairly good understanding of what they bid on. Jackson Paving is a local company. I'm comfortable with recommending them to you for this project. They have assured me that they can get on this project and get it done this summer. And I've had several conversations in recent days with the ownership at Jackson Paving. So if you have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Are there any questions from mayor and council? Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair, Mr. Roberts, with Jackson Paving, I'm certain they'll do a great job. Camilton Street, is it milled? I know we had some issues and it was some other streets when they had done those. Are we waiting for school to be out, or is it done? This is the final product?
You're referring to Camilton Street as it related to the WSA cuts a couple of years ago.
Yes, sir.
They had done the workforce at the time, and there has been mixed responses and reactions to what's currently there. I can certainly discuss that with them on that if that would be the pleasure of the mayor and council, to see what they could do on that.
Whose responsibility is it still, or is it just up for debate?
Combination of both, I guess. I mean, I can discuss it with Mr. Jackson.
Okay. We'd love to have a smooth surface. Thank you. That's all I had.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Are there any other comments or questions? If not, thank you, Mr. Roberts. I have no other items, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Dr. Berdanley. We'll move on to item 13, which is Personnel and Organization Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Richard Siegel.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No business tonight.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem. Ordinance and Intergovernmental Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mike Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight.
Thank you, sir. Education and Training, the Vice Chair is Dr. LaShawn Berdanley.
No items, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Communications Committee, Vice Chair is Councilmember Miller T.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's no business at this time under communications.
Thank you so much, Councilman Miller. Other business, is there any other business to come before council tonight from council members? Thank you. Not seeing any, we'll move on to our city attorney, Mr. Joel Dotson.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dotson. Chief Assistant City Attorney, Ms. Susan Littlefield.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Chief of Police, that isn't a chief, that's a deputy. Deputy Chief.
No business, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deputy Chief Shaw. We'll move on to our city manager, Ms. Marcia Hampton.
Only thing I have is just to remind you all that at next week's chamber luncheon on Tuesday, the 17th, the mayor and the county commission chairman will be having their state of the city and county as part of the chamber luncheon and the Council for Quality Growth. So if you have not registered, if you would, please get in touch with Katrina Davis and she will register you all for that luncheon. And again, that's Tuesday, the 17th. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, City Manager. Now is the opportunity for comments from citizens and delegates. If you sustain the meeting and you'd like to come to the podium to address the mayor and council, we'd love to hear from you. Please come at this time and give your name and address for the record, and the floor is open for you to make any comments that you may have. Come on.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Brandon Wilson. I represent Lithia Springs High School, 2520 East County Line Road, Lithia Springs, Georgia. And it's an honor to be here and to be in front of our pillars in our community. And there is no place I'd rather live than here at Douglasville. And so I spoke at the Douglas County Courthouse, and the mayor was able to witness me host our Black History program there. And I just wanted to just come before you and to witness this occasion tonight. And so thank you, Madam Mayor, for inviting me.
You're welcome. Great job, Mr. Brennan. He's an excellent speaker for Tuskegee Airmen, so we appreciate you coming this evening. All on your own, without a program or anything, just wanted to come and observe city government. Thank you so much. We'll move on to staff reports. Do we have any staff reports, City Manager? Okay, not seeing any other business or any objection, then this meeting is adjourned.